SmackDown took place tonight in Washington, D.C. Now, we started the show off by finding out that Joe Tessitore was not here. He's on duty. I'm sure it has to do with the NBA's All-Star Weekend. So we had Vic Joseph filling in. And some people on social media brought up why wasn't Corey Graves there. And I understand because he's been on SmackDown in the past, and he did have the whole falling out because he was upset that he was being removed from SmackDown and put on NXT. What I'd respond is he's not a play-by-play guy. You already have Wade Barrett, who's the color guy, so you don't want two color guys. You need Vic Joseph, who's the play-by-play. So they recapped Jay's appearance last week on SmackDown. Then, of course, we all know on Raw he chose Gunter for WrestleMania. That was the first match that's officially been announced for WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes came out to start the show. He gets a big ovation, and people kept saying, his title reign isn't the best. He's still super over here. He mentions the chamber participants. He runs them all down. Some get cheered, some get booed. He says he won't face Solo again, thank God. Then Drew McIntyre interrupts, and he's upset that Cody was basically snubbing him. Then you have Jacob Fatu come out. He is basically gets into a disagreement with Drew McIntyre. And they tease that they're going to fight, but then McIntyre just blows him off, and he leaves Cody to deal with him. And then we see on the Titantron that Solo is arriving in the arena. We see him driving from his car. Jacob, Fatu, and Tama Tonga leave the ring to go confront him, and they can't find Solo for the whole show. Not until the last hours when they found him. So we go backstage. Bianca Naomi heads to the ring. Then we have backstage. We see Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu looking for him. They basically had Jacob Fatu kill some poor guy backstage. It was pretty funny. He just does it for no reason. Tama basically asked him where he was, and he left him alone, but Jacob just had to kill the poor guy. We see in the crowd is Trish Stratus. They had Wade Bear interviewing her. She announces she's going to be at Elimination Chamber, and she's basically saying whether she's going to be in attendance or backstage. I'm not sure what the whole quote was, but she's there, and she later played into the show. I originally thought maybe we're going to get Trish and Chelsea Green, because as Trish is talking, Chelsea Green comes out. I thought, you know what? Chelsea going to have a match for WrestleMania. Maybe her and Trish, but I doubt that's going to happen with how everything went out. But when I was looking at the show, I kind of thought that as it played out. But later, as things progressed, that's not the direction. Naomi and Chelsea Green, to be honest, all I remember from this match is Naomi spanking Chelsea Green a couple of times. And then during the match, she has Chelsea bent over the ropes where she's basically about to hit I forget the exact move, but where she drives Chelsea in the ring. She's hit it a whole bunch of times, but she grabs Chelsea's tights and she pulls it up. She gives Chelsea a really big wedgie, and you can see Chelsea's ass cheeks completely sticking out. I don't think anyone's complaining, but Chelsea even acknowledged it on social media, which was pretty funny on her ex. But they had Naomi win the match. It surprised me, so she beats the U.S. champ. I don't think that's good to have both Lyra and Lyra lose on Raw and Chelsea lose on SmackDown, but Chelsea's someone they can just beat. Having them both lose, I don't know if that's the best choice. But Naomi's in a match. I'm kind of thinking to myself, I prefer Chelsea. She's way more over, more entertaining. Naomi, we all know she's not winning anyway. They recap Kevin Owens attacking Sami Zayn. They go to a recorded video from Sami. He says he'll see Kevin soon. Hopefully it just stays in Elimination Chamber. I don't want to see these two wrestle at WrestleMania. I'm over this rivalry. I don't want to see anymore. They go to a video on, I think it was some sports center where Triple H announced that Michelle McCool's in the Hall of Fame. He did it. They basically did kind of the same thing they did for Triple H, but he was directly telling Michelle McCool via some screen at some, I don't know where, I don't think it's ESPN, but some sports place. She's in the Hall of Fame. He had Motor City Machine Guns against Los Garza. Machine Guns win pretty decisively. All I thought was, Los Garza, don't answer your phones. I think Elektra Lopez was much more marketable than you guys, and she was let go. He had Damian Priest have a video package about his match tonight. He had Jacob and Tama Finally finds Solo Sikoa backstage. Let's say it was the third hour. It was basically the second hour. Solo says he needed time off after losing the Ula fallout to Roman Reigns. He tells Jacob he needs to win tonight, and then he basically tells him that he loves him, like how Jacob always says, Solo, I love you. He basically said, Jacob, I love you. Shinsuke Nakamura comes out, cuts a promo. It's mostly in Japanese. Fans don't understand what he's saying. They chant what? LA Knight interrupts him. Then The Miz comes out, and this was just the worst part of the show, in my opinion. The Miz was just annoying here. He's basically pretend crying, and it was just annoying. This went on over and over. He was so obnoxious here. He can be hit and miss from The Miz. He's either really obnoxious or he's really on point. This was definitely the former. Go back and forth until Nick Aldis comes out and makes a match official. Who wants to watch Miz and LA Knight? Who wants to watch Miz wrestle a match in 2025? For fuck's sakes, dude. I'm so tired of this guy. You just get some ambassador. Well, I'm sure the guy's set for life. Do I still want to watch this guy wrestle anymore? I don't want to see him get TV time. I know, LA Knight wins. He'll now face Shinsuke Nakamura. Backstage, she Nia Jax and Candice LeRae talking about her big match. And she runs into her old friend, Alexa Bliss. Alexa basically teases that she might see Nia Jax at WrestleMania again. I don't think anyone wants to see a rematch of that match. It was no good. But we get the Wyatt tease. And basically this is one of the last times we're going to get to see Alexa Bliss as her old character. Because she was not the Lily Alexa Bliss, the spooky Wyatt Alexa Bliss. This was the goddess, and I really missed her because I really got to see some really cool facial expressions. And, Alexa Bliss, obviously, she's very, very, very pretty. So when she makes facial expressions, it actually helps. But she has that thing to her where she's like a really good actress in a way. She has that gift of personality. It's like she's just really, I don't know how to explain the exact words to it, but she has this ability to act well. That's what I kind of expect. I'm trying to say here. She puts on these really good facial expressions, and she's really good. I think that's why so many people like her. She's just really good at that. But she's the goddess here, and this is the last time we're going to see her because we get a Wyatt 6 tease. She's going to go back to that Alexa Bliss. The Lily doll is very marketable, and the Wyatt 6 needs her, but that's the last we saw Alexa this week. We didn't get her too much. I wish we could see more of Alexa. Who doesn't want to see more of her? Andrade talked to The Miz after he lost after he lost to LA Knight. Then Miz asks Carmelo to team up. He was there. Hayes just blows him off like he's a chump. R-Truth and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes wins. I thought, this show fucking sucks. I'm so fucking sick. I'm watching Carmelo Hayes and R-Truth. Had to watch The Miz wrestle a match with LA Knight. I'm thinking, this show is just garbage. The second hour really fucking sucked. And the first hour wasn't that good either. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm so fucking sick of SmackDown. And I think the big problem is the 3-hour limit or the 3-hour time slot. It's just killing the show. The first 2 hours dragged. If this was like a 2-hour show, this would have been an awesome SmackDown. I really mean that. There were so many good shows on Fox that were 2 hours, but once they added a 3-hour, now since they're on USA in the United States, but Netflix internationally, the show just drags on. And this was really apparent because there's a lot of filler here. And SmackDown, thankfully, is going to 2 hours anyway in June, but next few months, at least it's WrestleMania season. If this was like at the time after WrestleMania when the product gets really boring and it really drags on and really stale, man, these shows would be brutal to get through. Now, they showed highlights of the Philadelphia Eagles in their Super Bowl parade, which was today, and he had several players with WWE title designs, and of course, they were in Washington, who not a fan of the Eagles, and obviously, and they just booed the hell out of this. It was pretty apparent. I got they had to have it there, but they should have known Washington's not going to like it very much. So kind of negativity, it kind of had surrounding it, but it is what it is. Street Profits video package. They thrown out their teams. I felt like they should have done more on TV by now. They should have more live appearances since the Rumble. Pretty Deadly's interviewed by Byron Saxton. Who cares? DIY interrupts them. And the one thing that really threw me off was how much shorter DIY was than Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly doesn't strike me as like these really tall guys, but seeing them just tower over DIY, that wasn't the best look for them. Kevin Owens' response to Sami Zayn in his car. I mean, I really wish I can just get these guys paychecks. You just have to go to your car, cut promos, put it on your Twitter account, and I don't know, get paid 6 figures, 7 figures. Oh, certainly 7 figures for these two. And yeah, I really wish I could have a job like that because we haven't seen either of them on TV in like weeks. But I'm sick of this feud. Eventually, Kevin challenges Sami to a match in Elimination Chamber. Good, it's in Canada. They'll like it. It'll be fun in Canada at least. Just don't do it at WrestleMania. Please, I'm so over this fucking rivalry. I hope it's Randy and Kevin. And I don't know what Sami's going to do, but I think Randy and Kevin makes more sense for WrestleMania. Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair backstage. Of course, Tiffany's getting ready for her match. Next, we have the WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton defending against Nia Jax. So we got a lengthy video package. It was almost like a pay-per-view type video package. After we're going to have a match on or a PLE. They show Charlotte watching on the monitor backstage. I thought Tiffany was very good here. Nia was good as well. They had a cool powerbomb spot with Tiffany hitting Nia with a powerbomb. You had Tiffany doing Charlotte's moonsault to the outside. The match was getting good near the end, and they basically had the situation where Tiffany is about to finish Nia with the prettiest moonsault ever. But Candice LeRae attacks her, and Nia is disqualified. And Nia is basically happy and thinks to myself, why are you happy? You just lost her title shot. Anyway, Nia attacks Tiffany. She hits the Annihilator. And then Candice gets a chair. And basically they're choosing a spot where Nia is going to put the chair on Tiffany's chest. And she's going to hit an Annihilator just to completely crush her. But she's stopped by... I was expecting it to be Charlotte Flair. It was not. It was Trish Stratus who was there. She fights them off. She emerges from the crowd. She stops it, but then they beat up Trish. Nia crushes Trish into the corner. Then I think she hits a Samoan drop or something to Tiffany. So both Tiffany and Trish are left lying in the ring. And you had security eventually getting Nia and Candice to leave. And as they leave, out comes Charlotte Flair. And she gets in the ring. There's still the chair there. She sits on the chair. And she's basically sitting as Tiffany is just basically in pain in the ring. She's laid out. And Charlotte officially announces the second match that's been confirmed to WrestleMania. She will challenge Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. So that's your second official match. We now know both the Royal Rumble winners who they're going to face. Jay announced Gunther on Raw, and Tiff announced Charlotte on SmackDown. So we got 2 matches now set for WrestleMania. I like this. I thought this was well done. I like the whole Tiff-Nia match, how it was done, and where it's going to lead is fine. I just thought Tiffany should just beat her again to really finish the feud. But they have to insist on putting Nia Jax in all these big matches. Naomi and Bianca are backstage, and this is where I thought it really got interesting. Nick Aldis calls them into his office, and we finally have a development in the Jade case, which was great because I felt like they were just dropping it. And I'm thinking to myself, are they going to get rid of Jade? Is she done here? Because they're not even talking about her anymore. But we have a development. He shows footage, and it's weird because there's more footage, but it just stops. And we just see Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in around the same vicinity where Jade was attacked. And in nowhere does it really say that they really attacked her. It's just they were there. They were around it. Doesn't mean they hit her or they beat her up. And Naomi's the one who says, well, everyone thought it was me, which I thought that was kind of awkward. And Bianca's really sure of it, so they're trying to keep you guessing, but I think the most likely scenario was Naomi who attacked her. And they basically announced that both Bianca and Naomi are going to be on Raw, where they're going to confront Liv and Raquel. So we all know it ain't them. It ain't Liv. It ain't Raquel. It was most likely Naomi. But it could be Bianca. I mean, Jade is just nuts and she hits herself. You never know. Damian Priest heads to the ring. You had Byron Saxton interviewing Tiffany Stratton backstage. So she's a little upset with what happened. But Trish Stratus meets her up, and they basically embrace. And Trish wants to team up with Tiffany to take on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae at Elimination Chamber in Toronto. And Tiffany is just enthused. She says, we're going to get Tiffany time and Trishy time. Yes, we are. So that's another match set for Elimination Chamber, which is fine. I don't mind the match. So I think that's what we get. We get Tiffany and Trish against Candice and Nia, the women's chamber, the men's chamber, and Kevin and Sammy. I don't know if there's any more so far, but we'll probably get at least one more match. Usually Triple H has 5 matches on the PLEs. Drew is talking to Jimmy Uso backstage. He mocks him, but then Jimmy hits him with a super kick. Braun cuts a promo backstage before making his entrance. Now main event, triple threat match. Winner goes to the chamber. You have Jacob Fatu against Ron Strowman against Damian Priest. So it's basically going to be like, a smash match. They smash into the steps, smash into the announce table, which doesn't break. The new announce table, I have mixed feeling. It looks really good on TV, but I don't think we're going to get to see many more going through an announce table spots. That's too bad. But there's a chair eventually is used, and Braun is about to get his revenge on Jacob Fatu. He puts the chair on Jacob's neck, and he's about to hit the running hip attack. All of a sudden, Solo comes, hits him with a Samoan spike, and it looks like Jacob's about to win. Jacob hits his moonsault, which is basically the same as Tiffany Stratton's, and Cody, however, comes out to take revenge on Solo for getting a Samoan spike last week. As he does that, Tama Tonga attacks Cody, but Solo accidentally hits a Samoan spike onto Tama Tonga. That takes him out, and Jacob Fatu's pissed off. Him and Solo have a stare down, but then Priest takes out Jacob, and then Cody hits a crossroads onto Solo onto the outside, taking him out. Back in the ring, it's just Damian Priest and Braun Strowman. Priest hits a South of Heaven chokeslam, gets the win, and Priest heads to Elimination Chamber. That's how the show ended. So how I'd recap SmackDown was the first 2 hours I thought were dreadful, and it really exposed that this show needs to be 2 hours instead of 3. It's much better. It's much easier to watch. However, the third hour I thought was very good. You had the Tiffany Stratton Nia Jax match, which was very good, followed by the segment after when Charlotte announced Tiffany. Then you had the Jade Cargill developments, which was really well needed. And then you had a very solid triple threat main event. So overall, also you had the Trish Stratus thing, which was good. So third hour overall was very good. The first 2 hours I thought were pretty boring. So it just made me think, yeah, this definitely is much better as a 2-hour show. But that was SmackDown this week, and we'll see what happens next as we continue on our path, our journey, as we continue to drive down the road to WrestleMania.